Hi friends, I'm back with a video and today we'll talk about Mercury. Mercury appears to have a solid silicate crust and mantle overlying a solid iron sulfide outer core layer and a deeper liquid core layer and a solid inner core. Mercury is one of the four terrestrial planets in the solar system and is a rocky body like Earth. It is the smallest planet in the solar system with an equatorial radius of 2439.7 kilometers, 1516 miles. Mercury is smaller, albeit more massive than the largest natural satellite in the solar system, Ganymede and Titan. Mercury consists of approximately 70% metallic and 30% silicic material. Mercury's density is the second highest in the solar system, only slightly less than the Earth's density. If the effect of the gravitational compression were to be factored out of the both planets, the minerals of Mercury is made would be denser than those of the Earth, with an uncompressed density versus Earth's. The Mercury's density can be used to infer details and inner structure. Although Earth's high density results appreciable from gravitational collapsion, particularly at one core, Mercury is much smaller and its inner regions are not as compressed. Therefore, for it to have such a high density, its core must be large and rich in iron. Geologists estimate that Mercury's core occupies about 55% of its volume. For Earth, this portion is 17%. Research published in 2017 suggests that Mercury is a molten core. Surrounding the core is a 500 to 700 km, 310 to 430 mile mantle consisting of silicates. Based on the data of the Manio 10 mission, the Earth-based observation, Mercury's crust is estimated to be 35 km, 22 million miles thick. One distinct feature of Mercury's surface is the presence of numerous narrow ridges extending up to several hundred kilometers in length. It's thought that these were formed as Mercury's core and mantle cooled and contracted at the time when the crust has already solidified. Mercury's core has higher iron content than any the major planet in the solar system, and several theories have been proposed to explain this. The most widely accepted theory is that Mercury originally had a metal silicate ratio similar to common chlorine meteors, thought to be a typical of the solar system's rocky matter, and has a mass approximately 2.25 times the current mass. Early in the solar system history, Mercury may have been struck by a planetesimalion of approximately 1/6 of the mass of the several thousand kilometers across. The impact would have stripped away much of the original crust and mantle, leaving the core behind as a relative major component of and a similar process known as the giant impact hypothesis had been proposed to explain the formation of moon. Alternatively, Mercury may have formed by a solar nebula before the sun's energy outputted and stabilized. It would initially have been twice its present mass, but as the rotation contract, temperatures near the Mercury could have been 2500 and 3500 K and possibly even as high like Venus. Mercury orbits the Sun, with Earth's orbit as an inferior planet and its appearance distant from the Sun as viewed from the Earth and never exceed 28 degrees. This proximity to the Sun means the planet can only be seen near the western horizon after the sunset and the eastern horizon before the sunrise, usually in twin light. At this time, it may appear as a bright star-like object, but it's often far more difficult to observe than Venus. The planet telescopically displays the complete range of phases, similarly to the Venus and the Moon, as it moves in its inner orbit relative to Earth, which recovers the most synchronic period of approximately 116 days. Mercury rotates in the way that it's unique in the solar system. It is tidally locked with the Sun in a 3-2 spin orbit resonance, meaning the relative to fixed stars. It rotates in an axis exactly 3 times for every 2 revolutions it makes around the Sun. As seen from the Sun in a frame of reference that rotates with the orbital motion, it appears to rotate only once every 2 Mercurian years. An observer on Mercury would therefore see only one day every 2 Mercurian years. Mercury's axis has the smallest tilt of any of the solar system planets, about 1 by 30 degree. Its orbital eccentricity is the largest of all known planets in the solar system. At perihelion, Mercury's distance more than the Sun is only about 2/3 of or 66% of the distance at aphelion. Mercury's surface appears heavy, cratered, and it's similar in appearance to the Moon's, indicating that it has been geologically inactive for billions of years. Having almost no atmosphere to retain heat, it has a surface temperature that varies diurnally more than on any other planet in the solar system, ranging from 100K minus 173 Celsius minus 280 Fahrenheit at night to 700K 427 Celsius 800 Fahrenheit during the day. Across the equatorial regions, the polar regions are constantly below 180K minus 93 Celsius and minus 136 Fahrenheit. The planet has no natural satellites. 2 spacecrafts have visited Mercury. Mariner 10 flew by 1974 and 1975, and Messenger launched in 2004 orbited Mercury over 4,000 times before exhausting its fuel and crashing into the planet's surface on April 30, 2015. The BP Colombo spacecraft is planned to arrive at Mercury in 2025.